Gotta listen to me.
I'm okay with that.
We're all busy.
Okay, it's 5:31. We'll call the Wednesday, June 12th, 2024 Logansport Parks and Recreation Board meeting. Everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Beam in Europe?
Can I read the mission statement?
Yes, sir.
Logansport Parks and Recreation Department is committed to building a vibrant and healthy community for future generations through accessible recreational facilities and programs that promote physical health, social engagement, conservation, and cultural appreciation.
Okay. You all received a copy of the minutes from the previous meeting. Are there any additions or subtractions that need to be made? Okay, with there being none, then we will move on to old business. Lease for Melbourne Park, TJ Palmer and the Sports Hideout Foundation. Step on up there, sir. Take it away, Karen.
Oh, well. It is what it is. This is the same basic agreement we do with miniature golf, just with changes to whatever it is that TJ is gonna do. I did not add, the information you were talking about for, but I think it's part of your programming, you know, any camps or tournaments or, just lessons, any of the same kind of things that we've been talking about for the pickleball, Mike. So that's just part of your programming and that, so I have no reason to add or change anything. We know that that's part of what you're doing, so. Foster personal growth of children through sports and character development. That's your whole purpose.
Yes, it is.
You have anything you want to ask about in this lease? Any concerns?
So I turned on the lights last night just to check. There are 5 light bulbs out on top. Am I responsible for that?
If you can find somebody to take them out before you go buy some, come see me at the Babe Ruth Park. We have lights
Okay.
up in our press box or somewhere in our facility, because we have lights to replace, but no more than we use our lights. They're just sitting up there. So if you can use those, then you go that way. But yes, it excuse me, it has always been with Cal Ripken and Babe Ruth that you need to, if lights burn out, you have to pay for your lights.
Okay.
That's the way we've always done it at Crane and at Steinman. So,
But I think Kevin can help you get them out. Maybe he can go get them from you and then come to, he'll try to get them installed. So.
Okay.
so
bulbs are you talking about?
for the light poles.
For the poles?
Yes. Yep.
The big ones.
Yeah.
They're like that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
If the fixtures are right, we have light bulbs that are just sitting upstairs in our press box that you can use.
Okay. Yeah, these ones have like a fiberglass shield in front of them or something. It's not like the dome lights like a normal baseball field.
So before you go buy any,
Okay.
look me up and we'll see if they work for you, because there's no sense, if you can use some of them, there's no sense in them sitting upstairs in our press box just drawing dust and something I fall over when I'm moving stuff around in the press box, so.
Okay.
Anything else?
Water fountains. Do we know the water fountains, are there issues with them?
Why or what?
The water fountains?
Oh, Kevin will try to get those working.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. 'Cause I know with hot days today, some of my
Did you
kids.
try it yesterday?
I did.
We just got parts in for those.
Yeah, that's what
I
They
was gonna
just
say.
came in, so as soon as he picks up those parts, he plans to fix all of those.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
He told me he thought most of them were working and he just had to get some more.
Yeah,
Okay.
just picked up parts, so.
Nope, other than that, that's it. Just a heads up, I did talk to Haley Kripe. I'm sure most of you are aware of who that is. We're gonna host a camp together. She plays at Kansas. She's a softball player from Roll Center. So we're gonna host a camp together over there for kids.
Okay,
Be sure that we get your information on,
Absolutely.
and we'll be glad to promote through the Facebook page.
Appreciate
We
it.
found out we have 5,000 followers today
really?
at Locust Sport Park.
You're very
We have
popular.
5,000
Wow.
followers on our Facebook page.
That's awesome.
Huh? We have 5,000 followers on Facebook.
Thanks.
Total population.
Yeah, well, you know. Does anybody on the board have any questions about this lease? No.
Looks good.
Okay, so do I have a motion to accept agreement for use of Melbourne Park Athletic Field?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
With there being no more questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Tony, you have your lease.
Thank you.
You have to stick around to sign afterwards.
Yes, sir.
Don't run away.
It's going to be a quicker meeting than before.
Well, you never know.
You never know. I
Don't
know.
say that yet.
I probably
You
just
might have
jinxed
ju-
it.
you might have just jinxed it.
I know, so.
All right, moving on, memo of understanding with Logansport Community School Corporation.
Mike and I have been working with the powers that be at the school corporation, and they're just not ready to do this yet. They got some insurance concerns, and so we're gonna
Yeah,
work on it some more.
for my I've been working between the two groups, and to me, I mean, they had two issues. One, I mean, they had an insurance inspection. We've been using their tennis courts forever for summer rec tennis and stuff like that, and didn't have to have a great deal of, rules. They're using our Fairview Park, and we had gotten a notice from their brand-new principal that they wanted to keep people off of it when they had kids out there. Well, we spent $290,000 on a playground, and they gave us $50,000 for the playground and $25,000 for the thing. And I said, well, see, I mean, these are the same kind of issues. It's your tennis courts, it's our playground, and, starting to say we want people out there. That playground, I also told him, I said, that playground is one of the only handicap accessible playgrounds in the city. So to have someone that comes from Kokomo or Marion or Fort Wayne or someplace to be on that playground, and then they get there and they're notified they can't be there during school times. I also live right behind Landis, and there's kids on that playground all summer long. So it's a public facility, and I say, have talked to Mrs. Starkey, she's fine with that. But it assumes that the new principal was talked to by the business office, that talked to the insurance company that wants to do stuff. So we just need to make sure that I guess we're partners. We had a situation a while back where someone got an arm broken during school, and the parks ended up paying half of it because there was a ring missing on something or whatever. And, again, if they want to play hardball, it's a case where then those teachers need to notify us immediately if there's something wrong with them. I mean, they're there all the time. So I just think we just need to get a better understanding. It seems to me like in general, Mrs. Starkey was saying, at the same time, I even think if there's going to be a tournament, like a pickleball tournament, then they should contact the school corporation, not the Parks Department. Oh, absolutely. And then that way they take care of making sure they get the insurance. We don't need the extra stuff. They're going to maintain it from here on out, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just kind of some of the stuff that we're like us needing to post signs there about the rules of pickleball. I'm not sure that, and not to mention, I should mention this, the school's excited to have the pickleball available for their gym classes. So apparently pickleball is much easier than tennis to learn. So for gym classes, they can have that. So this is something we came up as an idea. They kind of fell in love with it. So I just think some of the stuff that they had kind of talked to Jan about the memo of understanding, I feel like it's a little, puts a lot of onus on us, which is, it's not our land, but if we want to be a user for something, and I see us in general, saying it's another place for people to play pickleball, but it's really not necessarily
not
our
ours.
thing. And all summer long, there's people playing tennis all summer long too. So this whole thing of,
Yeah.
so.
Does that mean the school corporation only insures those areas during the school year?
No.
So then what's the problem?
That would be because they have an insurance agent that,
It's just. the
insurance agents like to spread out the liability. So in other words, like we had a situation a couple years ago when somebody got hurt on the Fairview playground. They located the fact that it was on city ground and the school kids were there. So, it's not uncommon if there's going to be if somebody's at Cranefield or something like that, and they get hurt, they're going to sue the city and the Little League or whatever. And so, and I say, I've been told by insurance guys before, you can put all the hold harmless type documents in place and it still doesn't necessarily protect you from that stuff. So I don't think there is a big deal. I say, we've done summer rec tennis there ever since
Forever.
the parks were at Riverside Park. And so that's not been a big issue. But it was kind of coincidental that we were doing this at the same time. We got notice about the tennis courts at the same time, and Michael Bowditch is the person that was doing the insurance for them, and coincidentally, we get them talking to us at the same time. They're doing an insurance audit. So.
When do they start reconditioning? Aren't they gonna?
The courts-
Oh, it's already started.
Yeah,
It's already started.
They're actually tearing the entire courts out. They
Yeah.
take them all out,
Already paved.
all the fences out. Yeah,
Already paved.
yeah,
Already
yeah,
paved.
Facebook today,
I'm
yeah.
gonna say, I know last week they were working on tearing it all out.
today it's paved and people are, I just said on Facebook that the Parks Department was paying to have all the pickleball lines drawn.
Correct. That is true. That is true. We're paying $7,200.
$200.
$7,200, yeah.
And I say, for my 2 cents is, again, just to keep our distance, with the stuff that, when I first started investigating this, you take the strap, and the tennis court net is at 36 inches, a pickleball is at 34, so you have to take that strap and pull it to the side. It pulls the thing down to 34. We don't want to be in the business of also people complaining that the net was the wrong height, so that's, again, that can be the school's baby on that. But the agreement basically was, and I say, where they came up with that, they, even though I think they're now in love with this idea, had they had it before, they could have put it into their number, but they did, and Jan said today, I mean, I think that project is close to $500,000 to do those tennis courts or whatever. So we're getting off the cheap to get 10 new courts. We could have fought them a little bit about, but it was after the fact, and again, they had their resolutions done, it's already been accepted, and the funds and stuff already allocated, and stuff like that. So I think we're still in pretty good shape to pay that $7,200 to do the repainting. I had somebody contact me wanting to make sure that I was going to guarantee that they'd all be painted to pickleball specs or whatever, colors and stuff like that. And I said, well, I assume this is not their first rodeo.
Not their first rodeo.
I hope that they know it. So there should be some definitional.
Is it through Central Paving?
Yeah, but they hire someone to do the painting.
Yeah, that's that Leslie
Yeah,
Coatings, that's
yes, yeah.
who did.
Central Paving is doing the.
Leslie Coatings did the one at
Yeah.
Riverside
Yeah,
for
yeah,
us, and they're gonna do the one at Bishop
Right.
Park for us
Right.
too,
So
so.
I just told I said, I can't guarantee it, but I assume that they got that under control. And
Yeah.
I've seen it done on the internet with tons of cords and stuff like that.
They're the ones that are gonna put it futsal at Bishop for
Okay,
us. so,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to table this then, right? Okay, we'll move on.
Did we table it last month, though?
Yeah.
We don't need to table it again.
No? Okay.
Somebody will have to bring it off the table,
Bring in a new.
bring it forward next.
I think if there's anything, it's probably a 2-paragraph thing, and I say, the whole thing about us, all the rules and stuff like that, what the hours are and that kind of stuff. I live there, there's a light system, if you know the system, you have lights on till
Timer.
past dusk.
Okay, moving on, new business, Parks Board Resolution 2024-06, lease for Dykeman equipment.
Okay, so I'm gonna eventually tell you, it's not ready. It's not, I really had hoped it would be. I was trying to get a hold of people that have written these kind of resolutions, the other let me first start out. This is to purchase the Realmaster 3575D fairway mower and the Workman HDX two-wheel drive utility vehicle. Both of these are obviously for the golf course. And so what Dean would like to do is put this on a 5-year payment schedule with this DLL Public Finance Solutions partnership. And so that the cost annually is $23,666.66 for a total of $105,076.82. But I don't know what other specifics I need to have in there. And, maybe that's enough for now, but I don't know, I don't feel confident about anything else that should be in this. So, anyway, I'm going to ask you to actually table this until the next month. And hopefully I'll have any other additional language that needs to be in here. I need to find out from a couple other municipalities that have used their services to do this.
Okay.
So,
All right, so we'll table that until our July meeting.
please.
Yep. All right. Declare surplus equipment for city auction.
So you see a list of auction items for 2024. Our auction is June 29th. And the city takes all the different every department throws in their stuff and whatever it is we have to get rid of. So you'll see that list. The microwave, a bar sink with countertop, a faucet from the kitchen remodel, the John Deere 1435 mower with a cab cover, Universal Dodge tailgate, painted white. I don't remember why we have that, because it didn't fit.
It didn't.
Where's the rest of the truck?
It was the wrong one. They sent us the wrong
And
one.
they sent us the wrong one, and it was more expensive to
Should get some
send it
big money out
back
of
or
that one.
something, so.
And we had it painted.
Well,
before we realized it was wrong.
floating around on somebody's truck before long. Might not fit that, but it'll be on
Well,
somebody's
brand
truck.
new, so-
That'll be somebody's bag.
We had
That's what I'm saying, make a
an
bag
old
truck
screen,
together. It might look cool.
an old projector screen, kind of like that one, only it's got a tripod legs underneath, so it's really old. The golf has a mower, a Workman utility vehicle, a sprayer, and the Groundsmaster. I don't know which mower that is. So, anyway, that's what we have for the auction. And I would appreciate if you would declare those items surplus, so that we can sell them in the auction. Get some money for them.
Do we have a motion to declare these items surplus to go into the 2024 auction?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You have your items surplus for the auction.
We'll probably have another one later on asking for the money. Once we get it sold, we'll find out how much money we can get back. So, back into our fund, so. Okay. Keep on moving?
Yep, keep on moving.
All right. So, we got our master plan DNR approval letter. You should all have a copy of that right there in your packet. And did you sign that?
No, I need to.
You did? No, this? I didn't think he signed it.
I didn't sign it.
I don't think, no, I was thinking this Greg Belfus didn't sign it. But, okay.
I didn't sign it.
Greg, he signed it.
Oh, I know, there's somebody signed it, but I thought the one I got didn't have a signature on it, so that's all right. Okay, so, the website, the master plan on the website is the final version of our master plan. So, we're just now trying to figure out how many copies to print, I think I need to move forward with it to the city council at some point so that they can approve it as well, as a planning document more than anything. And then we're off and running. So, anyway, any questions?
Nope.
We're right now, we're at $60 per copy, so I'm hoping to get, I don't know how many I can, I'd love to be able to just say, you can go on the website and you can see the whole master plan, but we still have to have
I'm
some.
thinking that 60
printed.
bucks a copy, not many.
How many pages is it?
Huh?
How many pages is it?
501 pages.
501 pages.
And some of them are 11 by 17 pages, or
Yep.
pieces, the maps and stuff, those are weird.
Yep, so.
So anyway. The pool is open, and we have had busy days ever since it's been open, I think, and even yesterday when it was cooler in the beginning, it ended up being hot and had a full pool, I think, so. Generally, things are going very well. We are having issues. We still have not been able to get the showers themselves going because of buttons that you have to push. Those aren't working, and that's something that's on our shoulders, not on Dillings. That was something we had to do, and we hadn't received them from the supplier, and so I think Kevin's finally figured out that he's got to find someplace else to get them, so, which he's working on, so. Anyway, we did receive some dollars to have free days at the pool from anonymous sources, and we're happy to have that. We're going to try to do 8 to 9 free days over the course of the summer, and that'll be real nice for the kids that don't get a chance to do that. So we'll probably announce those the day before we have the free day at the pool and on Facebook, and hopefully that'll, because I'm also worried about being, inundated with more people than we can handle, so.
Absolutely.
So we're have a small announcements, not at this point, and see how it goes the first couple times, and if it looks like we need to do a better job of promoting it, we will, so.
Baby steps.
Yep, so, anyway. I guess I wanted to update you on the urban park because it's coming. It's getting there, so, if you haven't driven by downtown on Melbourne, you should. It looks beautiful, it really looks great. I think we started mowing it, I'm not sure, but I think we did. It is gonna be ours, here before too long, and I think in August sometime we'll probably get the actual ordered for us to take it on. So all the pavement's done, the concrete sidewalks are all done, the landscaping is done. The game court is poor. I mean, it's there. It's not. We haven't figured out exactly about the game pieces to go in there. The actual depot, I think that the exterior of the depot is just about done. I mean, it's just painting at this point. The inside has got some of the partitions, maybe they're all in by today, for all the restrooms. The sinks are in, the toilets are in, all the air conditioning and everything like that is done. The interior painting is almost done. And then we are working with Tom Partridge and Vicki Lebo to do a full historical display. And so that's supposed to happen. They're supposed to have that done by the end of July. And it's going to be really awesome, I think, just the things that they've got planned. I think people will really be impressed. One of the things that you've been talking about, Mike, was having some sort of a TV screen there that can be automatically come on and show the birth of a city. Is that the movie, the little
That's what they
video
said.
that we have? So I think that's the one they're going to show at this point in time. And I think there must be some railroad stuff in that. I don't know that I've ever seen that, so.
I
Anyway.
think that's gonna be a home run. And I say, I was inspired by when Dave, you talked about your family doing this stuff. And I've had 20 people tell me stories about their family, the railroad, and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. And it's like, well, those stories are gonna go away. To me, the stories are the neat part of the history. You know, you can show pictures of it. Here's a sledgehammer and a spike, okay, but I think the stories are what really talks. When they're saying there's 65 trains stop a day here or whatever, and even some of the pictures of the old two-story railroad yard, I just think that's going to be a lasting thing. And then over time, if people want to keep adding stuff, but I think we're losing people that can tell the stories. So I think it's going to be
I
neat.
think if there, it'd be really cool. I know Beth Myers has always done a booklet every year, or I don't know if she's still doing it every year. She used to do one every year with historical information about the city. And maybe she could go the direction with a video with like Dave Packard's class or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. So, anyway, the signal bridge, the lights have all been figured out. What we're doing and actually we're going to probably do more lighting in the park itself and in the parking lot itself because now's the time to do it. More electricity, to bring in, for whatever booth or whatever's going on down there. But that's a utility thing. They're doing that work here probably in July. And so, it's coming. Anyway, I don't know, we don't want to, the single bathroom is probably going to be open sooner than the rest of it. We really want to have the historical stuff done before we open up the entire restrooms for farmer's market or whatever. The first event is already planned for, the Roosters want to do an Oktoberfest there, so, and if it becomes ours, they get to talk to us about having their beer and stuff like that, so anyway. At some point, we're going to I just announced to the staff yesterday that we need to come up with our whatever, like Little Turtle has certain aspects of things that you can or can't do in the park. Well, we'll do that at this park as well. So we're working on that.
Who's gonna own, will Parks Department get the deed for all this?
I don't know if we'll get a deed, but it'll be our responsibility to manage it and to schedule it and all that. So just like we do with Little Turtle. So
Even though it's on the farmer's parking lot?
we won't, the farmer's market is not ours. That's the city's.
Okay, you're talking about development over on Little Turtle, not,
Behind the bridge, behind the signal bridge, between Melbourne and the signal bridge. That'll be what we're talking about, so.
I just think it's something to think about if Parks is gonna be responsible for all this. Maybe it'd be good to have a deed.
Okay. I don't know where that deed is, but we'll find out. I'll find out, so. That's a good thought.
I think that what she's mentioned is that the farmer's market's now going to be back on that other parking lot too. They've grown, right? And then, but I think that's going to still be city land. So that will not be the farmer's market's ownership land.
No, that will be that will be
But
under our
they're
purview.
allowed to use it.
That'll be under our purview.
Right.
Yep.
That back lot behind gallery.
So, and then the signal bridge is getting painted. Probably not to the standards in terms of sandblasting. I don't think he's going to be able to sandblast, but he is going to use some sort of a tool to help scrape off a lot of the paint that's coming off and things like that. So, I'll tell you more about that when we're together here later this week, so. But it is planned, so that'll probably be the end of, that'll be in July as well, I think, is when he's gonna work on that.
Is
So-
it planned to still have the Christmas tree?
Well, and then the Christmas tree, we talked about that, I think it's gonna be in the middle, behind the signal bridge.
Which would be really neat. When you come down that street, you'll see the signal bridge, and then you'll see the Christmas tree
So you
behind
won't,
that.
you won't be able to see the depot at the time, but that'll be 6 weeks of the year.
I think that'd be neat.
Well, it might be more like 8 by the time we get it up early and stuff. So, yeah, that'll be, we hope that's here by September or so. So, anyway. The RFP for the Dykeman Clubhouse has gone out. We've had 6 contractors, developers respond and ask for the RFP. And so, we've had quite a few questions submitted, which I've been working on with Ice Miller and our people. And so the deadline for that is June 26th, the morning of June 26th. And at some point then, if you want to be involved in choosing our developer, then we need to come together and meet at some time, because we'd like to have that announced sometime in July. July 24th is my tentative deadline for that, so.
Don't you have to have a public meeting?
I don't think so.
You don't have to have a public meeting for the bids, you guys can just have a meeting, do that on your own.
I think.
But we can just open them
I
that.
think you have to open them in a public meeting, I think.
I don't think so.
Really?
That's what I was told from the attorneys. But I was planning to open it at Board of Works that day, and they canceled that day, at Board of Works that day, so. They don't have a quorum.
That'd be a good idea. Open them at one word.
Huh?
That'd be a good idea, to open them at one word.
Well,
Yeah, me.
I don't want to wait till the next Board of Works, so we might have to have
If you get enough people.
an emergency board meeting.
Special meeting.
So, okay, and then, I'm just gonna go on through for everybody, all the other, program, stuff that's going on. The Bishop Court, paving is complete, the asphalt's got to cure for 30 days before painting is done. The Spencer and Bishop shelters, Bishop Shelter is all completed, Spencer Park number 5 that's there on High Street is complete. It has, the one that's right there by the playground on the south side of the park had all the wood roofing done, but the steel was gonna get done tomorrow probably. And then the third one should be on its way to get built. We probably will remove the shelter to the west of the playground. It's really in bad shape, especially the concrete and where the posts and the concrete are at. So we need to remove that. And we might need to do this in a resolution, but I want you to be thinking about removing the other shelter that sits there where the Sugar Rush was at.
Just that little one.
Yeah, with the 2 side things there. So, it's in the way. It just sits there. And people aren't really using it, and it just sits there. So, it's time to think about removing that, but I'm not gonna do that one on my own. You guys get to decide that one, so.
Awesome. I'm not gonna.
We did get new picnic tables at the big shelter down below, downstairs.
Downstairs.
We got those from McCord's, helped us get those, and so they're the 16-footers, so they can't be moved.
Has anybody rented that yet?
No, it's still not available.
Still not ready?
We just got the quote on getting the roof fascia all replaced, all the boards on the outer side of it, and it was dare I say,
Go ahead.
75 grand.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. Hey,
So,
I'm sorry I asked that question.
I know. It's all right. Okay. So I'm going to move on to recreation. We have hired Heidi Kitchell and Sydney Baldwin. They are working on our rec program. Last week was our first week of activity and had lots of people come and participate. So we did host our daddy-daughter dance, 75 couples, 20 additional daughters attended. The Wright Street Bark Park ribbon cutting was held, and with refreshments from Black Dog and our own little puppy chow. We had a really good turnout for both that and for our grand opening event. And it wasn't too many people for the grand. I was worried a little bit about the grand opening having too many people, but it was just the right amount, and we had enough supplies, and everything worked out great. So I'm very pleased with all that's going on there. We are having some issues with some soccer players that finally decided to play soccer at Mulehausen Park around the fencing, and they kicked their ball into the area, and so they're climbing over the fence or tearing apart
I was
the
afraid of
gate or whatever. So
I was afraid of
It's a
that.
5-foot fence too, so they're,
there's always some. I've never seen anybody play soccer there before,
Flip over it.
except on the basketball
They play on the
court.
basketball court, yeah.
But now all of a sudden, they want to play soccer right there by that fence. I don't get that, so, anyway, okay. I want to back up a little bit to Bishop Park. Kevin is putting in a new electric system there. So he's putting in a new big panel and electric to the new shelter. The old shelter has been removed, and that, and like I said, that's complete. Dykeman Park, they finally got started on that restroom construction, and the floor has been poured, but they haven't started building walls yet, so, anyway. Little Turtle Waterway, we did put in a new drinking fountain there, and so that's working. And we did spray weed killer on all the bricks. That's important because there's a lot of bricks. The splash pad is going strong. We really need another splash pad in this town. We
Yes, we
really
do. Yeah.
do.
Yes, we do.
It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if there were 40 or 50 people there at a time during this, once it got turned on. And that's too many for that splash pad. It really is, so. We need to start thinking about that, so. The other thing is that we did pick up the Christmas displays that we sold to Modern Real Estate and to all the people that bought one for the 12 Days of Christmas. So, and Slessers has graciously allowed us to store them at their warehouse. So, anyway. We have, and just FYI, we have 10 parks staff, or 10 guys hired for parks maintenance to help Kevin. We have 12 people hired for the golf course, 2 recreation, whom I've already talked about, and then we have 28 people at the pool. So we have a big summer staff here this year.
Good.
so.
Okay.
Okay, one more thing then, I want you to know we are at the golf course, just by the numbers. We are $32,770 ahead of where we were last year at this time. We are up 74 season ticket sales. Our dollar rounds are up by 1,200, and our daily rounds are up by 900. So, I think that's pretty good.
Yep.
Anyway.
Okay.
I also want to tell you about our board retreat. Remember, July 10th, we're going to have our Parks Board meeting, and then we're going to have our retreat to talk about 2025 budget. And what I'm going to be sending to you is just a worksheet that'll show you what we had in '23 expenses and what our '24 budget is. And then this is blank. We can fill that in however we think.
Okay.
I will also give you a copy of our capital improvement plan that's been approved by the council, and you'll be able to see what should happen in 2025. Our goal for our retreat is to determine what are the priorities. You know, what do you think is the most important for us to get done in 2025?
Okay.
And I've not ever tried to have you guys be a part of that decision-making, and I really would appreciate that role for you guys to do that. So I will email those to you because they're not quite ready yet, but that's where that's where we're at, okay?
Okay.
Any questions?
Nope.
And I think I've done the rec director, the maintenance director, and the golf course. I've done all their reports for them.
I do have one question. So on the 25 budget, are we going to, I'm assuming we're going to be including stuff from the master plan? And
Yes,
from
that's what's in the map, it's in the
Riverside, all of
CIP.
that we're
That's all in the
looking to
CIP.
Okay.
The one thing I think we need to really start pushing for is, we need help. We need to at least get another full-time maintenance guy. We need another full-time rec person. And I know Dean needs probably another full-time guy up there too, so I don't know we can do them all, but we need to start working towards having more staff people on board for the growth that we have experienced, so. And I'm not just talking about just this year. This has been going on, this has been the growth that we've had over the last 10 or 15 years that we've been struggling with. And I think, you know, the master plan demonstrated that in terms of the facilities we have compared to the number of people we have. It's just not enough.
No, absolutely not.
There's other cities too.
Yes.
And before we get to visitors' comments, I had a conversation, I was in the parks office the other morning, I had a conversation with Kara. You know, we've talked about summer baseball, you know, when we've talked about what the kids put in their survey. And I have found, being over at Fairview every day, and I don't know if you've noticed it or not, because you're over there just as much as I am, but it seems to be a fad by the Security Federal Pavilion, wiffle ball. So
Wiffle ball?
Wiffle ball. So my suggestion to Kara was, as we move forward and look at it next year, we're going about this the wrong way maybe in getting equipment to where we do wiffle ball.
Yeah.
And you buy bats and you buy wiffle balls and that's all you need.
Right.
So just something to cloud your mind a little bit more as we think about that stuff. So anyway, okay, visitors' comments. Come on up.
My name is Sunny Miller. I co-own property at 1251 Smith Street, and I'm still a resident of Lafayette. Plenty to mow in both towns. Thank goodness the rainy season's over. Thank you for all your hard work. I wrote a letter to be very efficient. June 12th, dear Parks Board and staff, you have worked hard to serve the public. You deserve help. No single volunteer will be likely to solve a significant problem for the Logansport Parks alone, but with your encouragement, many volunteers with diverse abilities might help solve many problems. Already, 3 have helped plant flowers below the sign at Patriot Park, purple and gold, because they call it Purple Park, perennial irises, and red and white annuals, after Kelly Smith kindly gave permission, explaining by phone that the Parks Department welcomes improvements. That gave me another idea. I'll get to that. Today, I asked for some very low-cost or no-cost support that might help our community pull together in what might be a difficult transition ahead, namely, a crowded neighborhood, with as little as 6 feet between houses at times, very crowded neighborhood. Trying to use a small remnant of Patriot Park that might remain could experience a much less cooling environment during hot, dry summers, like we're going to have next week, 98 degrees. B, competition for fewer picnic tables or less space for wiffle ball. I understand that wish that young people have. C, less space for wiffle ball. D, a severe shortage of street parking if driveways are put in for multi-unit, single-family, and perhaps business uses. Already that street, can be pretty full on both sides of Wheatland Avenue. E, an increase in drug use. As an escape valve, question mark? An increase in vehicular accidents as children dart across a hot street from between cars parked on the north side of Wheatland. And G, increased isolation and electronic gaming as an alternative to current games of Marco Polo or tag. They're very inventive at that park. Doesn't matter what language you speak, kids know how to play there. I don't know if they do everywhere, but they do there. Requests. Please, can we have, number one, water turned on by the basketball court? Would that be almost a no-cost thing? There's a water fountain right there.
It's not a no-cost thing because we're having trouble with getting parts for our drinking fountains. It's not a no-cost thing. It doesn't work because we can't get the parts. We have to buy a brand new one.
I'd love to find out what the cost is, and I'll look for volunteers to want to support the park. I'll get more to that then. 2, Art in a Box programs in July, August, September, and October. Because as I understand it, we probably will have 4 months to respond after the RFP proposal gets in. So, time to draw people together with things they might be interested in. 2, permission to install a free little library, if volunteers are interested in that. I know I can't maintain it by myself, but I've seen older sisters watching the kids play, and they step in when the wrestling of, like throwing the 7-year-old down the slide chute, turns into a 7-year-old trying to send a 4-year-old down the slide chute. The big sister will step in and say, nothing, And so the teens use the park and come with their siblings. The parents trust the system pretty much. I don't know if they do later at night, but when I visited in daylight, this amazing collaboration among ages of children and different languages. I can teach some of those Art in a Box programs very easily. I have decades of experience teaching and talents with all ages, from babies to elders I've taught. 3, permission, the free library. 4, a public meeting to invite community problem solving for any issues identified. I know that vandalism has been an issue there, but I don't know what else has been an issue. There are probably other issues there. Maybe there's been drug use, maybe the homelessness, but maybe that's okay now and not an issue. I don't know. I was thinking that we need a splash pad there, so why not? Just blocks from downtown, right there at Patriot Park. What a wonderful thing that would be if there's only a tiny remnant left. Maybe it could at least be a cooling remnant. And 6, what do you think we need most at Patriot Park? Why doesn't it function as you wish it would? Regarding any or all of the Logansport parks, not just Patriot Park, that are on the surplus list and the chopping block, once added pavement and many new rooftops are added, we can't readily return to the relatively minor problems of vandalism and the budget for mowing. They're significant, but manageable, I believe. That's my addition in there to be explaining it, but beyond these problems, if the public has an opportunity to fully consider all issues, solutions, and even donations, might help us preserve surplus park for generations to come. During the Parks Board open house, we heard of many wonderful developments, but weren't invited to consider how the community can creatively address problems you know of, and may have tried to address within current budgets and staffing. Thank you for your many constructive initiatives, which as a relative newcomer, I will gradually come to understand. Sunny Miller, 1116 Washington Street, Lafayette, Indiana, and my phone number for calls or text. I will receive emails, but a little text message might help me find it.
I'll take that.
Yes.
You're okay with that? Then we
Please,
can
yes, I
include
may-
it next month, in our minutes for next week, or next month.
I didn't want to take too much time.
Okay, I appreciate that.
When you explained
Thank
to
you.
me that volunteers can't solve all the problems.
Yeah.
I understand.
Thank you.
So are any of
Thank you,
those
Sunny.
questions able to be addressed now? You've said, no, we can't have the water. How about the other one?
Well, it's, I don't know how quickly things are gonna start, they're gonna start turning dirt, but it's coming.
Well, the RFP has 4 months to submit their final proposal. And I asked, can the public have 4 months also to consider the proposal? And I saw some nodding heads, so that was a
So,
suggestion. It's not a Parks Department issue, it's more the planning department and the city that we be deciding on.
I don't have the answer to that.
Right, not the answer to that. But
But I mean,
we
hasn't
have
the,
July and August.
hasn't the property already been signed over to somebody to develop it? Or are we not there yet?
It already belongs to the RDC.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it belongs to the RDC, but the Parks Department is still paying the budget for the moment, right?
For the moment, yeah.
And actually, we need to remove the playground itself because it's out of compliance. And it's, it's time. There's so much rust in the metal, it's becoming, what's the word I'm looking for?
Hazardous and
Well,
dangerous.
yeah, but I guess I was thinking, the integrity of the metal
Integrity of the metal, yep.
is no longer safe. And,
I think what you're saying is great and looking to the future of what's going to happen there, but it's just not us that's going to be doing that because when everything's developed, whoever the developer is, if they decide, yeah, we'll put in a little park, it's theirs. It's their property. They're going to put what they want. And so that's who I would think you would want to lobby for stuff like that because, we could put a little library there, but they're going to tear it out you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what the point is of doing that right now.
Well,
Because-
my point of doing it is that I love books and I have lots of books to share. And I think that since I've been an art teacher and I know how to teach a toddler how to build a stool with.
you need to come back to the table if you're going to talk, okay? Because we can't
Thank you for that
understand
reminder.
it.
I said, I've taught children, even toddlers, how to build a trapezoidal end to a stool that will be stable and how to use, with an adult just holding safely, a wood-burning tool that they could engrave forever on the top of their little wooden stool. I
And you can
understand
still
that.
do that, maybe just not at Patriot Park. I
We
just
have the
think,
library at
Do we have one?
Houston Park, there's a library,
Little
Free library.
a free library there.
it's just, here's the thing. The neighborhood that you are talking so eloquently about 2 years ago didn't care about it. I wrote to them for 2 years in a row asking for their help because the vandalism was so bad on the playground on a daily basis, and nobody responded, not one person. And when it was asked for us that we have to have some, the point is that we have so many people, so much money, and so many facilities, and here we're going to be taking on the downtown park now too, and it's something that we.
Well, and to your point about reaching out to the neighborhood about what was going on over there, when we held our open meetings and we supplied our list to the community, and it was put out in the public, and people had the
It was in the
opportunity
newspaper.
to come to the meeting. Nobody in that neighborhood at that time came to the meeting to talk about saving Patriot Park. The biggest part, which absolutely blows my mind, even to today, the biggest concern of the majority of the people in the room that night was about Dunwoody Park, which absolutely has nothing in it, okay? And I still can't believe that was such a big deal about Dunwoody Park, to the fact that the relatives of the Dunwoodies, who the park was named after, even called me and lobbied for that to not be one of the surplus parks. You know, I completely understand everybody's concern about the parks that are getting closed now. Look, it was not something that this Parks Board wanted to do, okay?
I hear you.
And,
That's why I've come back.
but trying to tamp back what I want to say here, but,
Oh, don't, go ahead and say it.
well, but,
Honesty's
I
the
mean,
best policy.
no, I'm not tamping it back because of you. But we were given an ultimatum, okay? And we were told that we were going to give up 7 parks to the city, or we could be replaced as Parks Board members, other than Mr. McCord, who is here because he's on the school board. And we actually,
I can't be fired.
we
I'm appointed.
We actually, in this process, lost a very good Parks Board member, a very dedicated person to this community. And so, you know, I get it. I mean, I drive a school bus now. I'm over in that area of my school bus. I understand. But again, at the end of the day, it was one of those parks that we just had to let go, unfortunately. And, you know, some of your ideas here I like, but like Jason said, to do that at this point at Patriot Park is kind of a waste, because whoever buys the land is just going to get rid of it anyway, unfortunately, and then all that is just gone. And again, that now it's basically out of our hands as a Parks Board. And, you know, and I know that when the playground equipment comes out, we're going to hear about that as well. And you know, we talked about the fact that the playground equipment was going to need to be replaced, but there's no sense doing that when the city has taken it over, or the RDC, whichever. And, you know, so again, I appreciate this. I understand your points. But as a Parks Board, we're kind of,
You're faced more with the numbers and the nuts and bolts
Absolutely.
daily. I understand that.
Absolutely. I mean,
The public isn't. The public doesn't have a clue about the budget. You know, I've been attending meetings. I don't have a clue about the budget. It's opaque.
yeah, I
The
mean,
terms are opaque, you know, and honestly, the Parks Board open house that I attended was only about the shiny new prospects, and it was glorious. But I don't know, you know, I didn't get to see the meeting that people didn't come to. I saw that after I put up posters, nobody came to the Parks Board open house. One woman had to work night shift. You know, the other neighbors don't have much faith in city government. They probably don't step foot in this building for anything except that they used to pay their bill, their electric bill, whatever. You know, it's like a poor neighborhood probably doesn't come to City Hall in response to a letter, you know, and whereas the kids coming home with an art project,
I
some
didn't
seeds
expect
to
them to come
plant.
to me. All I expected was a phone call or an email. I wasn't expecting them to come to anything.
And unfortunately, how many people make phone calls these days? It's like fewer and
Well,
fewer.
she was hoping they would kind of help protect the neighborhood, and that they would, if they saw vandals, call the police, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Let me just say a little, the RDC now has the property, a group called Maggard something or other, was awarded the RFP. They, in their plan, intend to have a little residential park there as part of their housing complex. They also intend to have a smaller commercial space that they hope something like a coffee shop or something like that will go in there too. So
I have that report. I have their response to the RFP. I couldn't get, the clerk treasurer didn't have the RFP, but he said maybe this will be of use. And I have a request in, within 30 days, I'll get more documents. So I understand that proposal. Unfortunately, they tout the increased property values as a benefit for the neighborhood. Well, what does that mean? Increased taxes and increased rent. That neighborhood doesn't need increased taxes and increased rent. But when the property value goes up, because you've got nice shiny new houses across the street, it does affect your tax rate usually.
Well, I mean, the property taxes are, I mean, the age of the house will also affect that property. I don't see a major increase because of the way property taxes are calculated. Yes, the newer home will have a higher value than an older home in that neighborhood. So it will affect, it won't, I don't think it's going to affect the other people there.
The comparison, 3-bedroom home,
Yeah.
2 bathrooms.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
compared to 3-bedroom.
I have heard at different times, people have had comments like with the Revere homes. They've said, well, they brought these homes in our neighborhood and they stand out because they're new and our houses are old, and then, and we're hoping that they could better put houses into an infill situation to a neighborhood that, and unfortunately, sometimes you say, well, so it needs to be missing siding and have plywood on a window. I mean, that's not.
Junk behind the garage.
No one's gonna buy a new house that looks like a rundown old house. So hopefully, sometimes it encourages people to improve their house when that happens, but poverty is what poverty is. And so if you can't afford to fix it, replace a window, you can't, and that kind of stuff. But I will say that the stuff that, on the RFP, it surprised me that they were on their own, which is, again, in a lot of bigger communities, they have a lot of residential, if the developer develops an area, they have a small playground there. So I think that will be, I mean, that's better than nothing. And I say, we do need housing desperately. And when we bring some newer houses in, then that opens up some other houses. We have that, we just need more housing, period. So, that's kind of what's going on. But these guys have been looking at Logansport for like 1.5 years or 2 years, and I say, so.
Well, it's hard to take down shabby homes that ought to be taken down here and there and here and there. It costs money. And developers rather not spend money. They'd rather take it in.
Oh, yeah, no.
As soon as possible.
They're not in the business of neighborhood preservation. They're in the business of business.
Right.
Well, the only thing I was going to add is that land always at one time was full of houses. That was all supposed to be housing, and in some spots you can still find some of the old foundations. Yeah. So
I think it ought to be changed into 3 parks. Potawatomi Park, with a part you just want to drive by and see that it was there. That's where the trail walked. 660 miles they walked. And then Purple Park, because maybe there'll just be a flagpole with ribbons flowing from it. And finally, Patriot Park, where we can celebrate dedicated fire and police and rescuers of all kinds that we couldn't do without to support our Constitution and transparency. Thank you for your time. And I must close saying that I visited the Dachau concentration camp remnants, and when I learned many, many years later, when I was about 12 then, that the president was not in favor of bombing the railroad tracks that led into the concentration camp. It wasn't too late to help stop many, many, many deaths at that point. And I don't understand that thinking, and I probably never will. But it sort of helped me to say to myself, no, it's never too late. And so please forgive my eternal hope. William Penn said, let us see what love can do. And we don't know the limits of love. We don't know. I know that I don't see it when I go to that neighborhood sometimes, but other times I do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other visitors' comments? Board comments. Eamon?
No comment.
Mike?
Nothing.
Jason? Sam?
You couldn't resist, could you? I just want to let Jan know, I don't know if you know it, but they're selling, vendors are selling right at the end of where you come out of the splash pads and you come out.
Yeah, I do know that, but they're off of the park property, so there isn't anything I can do about
They're
it.
in the parking area, so that's off the park property.
That's off park
And
property.
then they're over at the old hot dog stand or whatever that was. There's a vendor parking there too. Same situation.
There's a guy trying to get that concession stand open, but he's running into a lot of problems.
Yeah.
He bought that building for $65,000. And he is already $40,000 into repairs. Good luck with recouping that,
Yeah.
just to have open for a summer season.
Yeah.
You know, good luck.
Sell a lot of hot dogs.
Well, you better stay open 24 hours a day.
That's all I have.
Okay.
No, but those are all off of park property, right, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, they're
Like the
right at
street
the
part.
edge. I mean, you know,
I knew-
I suppose it's cutting corners, but,
Yeah.
like I said.
Are they
I
over
just
there
didn't-
by your house?
No, they're clear over by the park, just off the sidewalk to, going into the park.
Okay.
Food trucks, is that what they are? The-
Yeah, it's like a gal that's selling sweet corn.
Oh, this is yes, this
Yeah.
person posted, they change their location every day.
Yeah.
And supposedly they have permission. They say they have permission from the city to do this, but you have to go on the Facebook page to find out where they're going to be today. And then that's where people go to get their corn.
Surprise.
So,
We're in your neighborhood.
There's a downtown
Instead of going to
vendor
the
too
farmer's
that's doing
market
that
land, they're
too.
gonna be all over
She moves around and,
yeah.
yeah,
It's like Mr.
so she got her Board of Works approval.
Okay, well, I just have my usual, I want to thank Jan and Kara and Kelly and Kevin and Dean and all the staff for all the hard work. I know Kevin's probably pretty busy getting ready for Squeal and the Eel this weekend. So keep up the good work. With that being said, we are adjourned at 6:39.
Sign TJ's lease.
Oh, yes, we have.
just that lease.
We have that lease.
Sign the lease for TJ.
Yeah, let's get that signed.
Other than that, we're done.
And
When's that auction? You said the 29th?
This is not shutting down properly, so we are still filming, so just watch.
Okay, watch your
it's not shutting down?
Watch your mouth.
Because it is not shutting down, so.
Can I get them to start signing?
Dave, I wanted to ask, I know you were
We've
talking
been having
about
all kinds of issues
volunteering
with it.
and
They told me it was fixed,
and
but
I
it's
hear
not
you do
shutting
so
down,
much
so.
for baseball
Right up
stuff.
here.
How do you have time
Yes,
for anything else?
please.
So you gotta probably lock the front door.
My wife asked me the same question.
Sabotage.
Auto system.
I sometimes get carried away with my love of baseball and love of
Thank you, sir.
keeping fields up so kids have a place to play.
Yay.
I've done it for, I don't know, 35 plus years.
Yeah.
But it, you know, as I start to get older, it starts to wear on me some. But you know, I always want to try to make sure that the kids who want to play baseball in this community have a place to play. So that's what Sam and I both spend a lot of time at our baseball fields, keeping them ready for our kids.
See ya.
Night, Evan. See you later.
Next door, huh?
I hear you are a place where I might be able to get MDO board.
Oh, yes.
I might be able to get some of it when it's in stock in Lafayette. I'm gonna call them because I'm there a lot and ask.
TJ?
this time.
Come on over.
It's available in all different sizes.
And still available two-sided?
I took it out of my hand.
Yes, yes. And I mean, in general, I mean.
Technically, it's available, but we'll see whether they actually
COVID-
have any.
Well, that's what I'm saying, COVID threw a lot of things off that used to be, and also lost some suppliers that did sell.
Actually, just,
The unique product for
it
some
really
of the
needs to come to the city building.
Well, also,
Right?
well, and even like regular
What?
plywood.
Well,
It does, but
I can take it.
I have to send a copy of this with it, so he can bring it to us.
Okay.
So
if you wanna-
Yeah, that's fine, because I have to send it both at the same time, so that'd be fine.
Because each layer is like 16 or something like that. and then they-
Bonesport Parks and Recreation.
But Home Depot tends to.
I didn't sign the other one of those, you took it out of my
Say
hand.
what
Yeah.
it's made of, so I don't
Contract?
really want to.
I did?
Uh-huh.
And the stuff that they call.
I didn't sign one of them.
OSB, which is what they call oriented strand board. It's strong, it's a good product because
sign it
you don't
right
need big trees to get it. You know, when you have plywood, they
getting
trim the
so
tree and you.
uppity here.
Plywood.
And I'm gonna take
The distance they grind it.
Yeah,
up.
put that, that's
Oriented.
the,
This way, this way. So
as
it's actually
is.
stronger than plywood. Has exterior glue to it, but it has a rut, the surface is not, it's not a painting surface. You know. It's not. All
How many
right.
pa- is that 6 pages? Seems like more. Oh, that's with all the other, it's got all the ordinances in it too there, TJ. So the ones that you have to
Yeah, this is not shutting down again, so
live with. You can drop that off at the house if I
go
want.
ahead
That's fine. If that's easier, because it might be hard for you to get away during the day. Where are you working at?
Of course, you can tell I'm not a state commissioner.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking you had another job somewhere. But it's, they just work from home, okay, all right.